What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. Last video was a short little video of installing the C-tracks, and for those of you that are new, that's what I do for a living. Work off the coast of California. We like to work on cranes. At least I try to. But that was our last video I posted. Video before that was of our Mustang here, and we fixed the front pump gasket on that transmission, installed it, put it on the ground, had a little bit of fun with it. We had to test the gasket, make sure it was going to stay still, and it did. So my plan with this car now is to get it on the track here in the next few days, at least before I go back to work. That is my plan. Fingers crossed I get to do that. But until I get that thing on the track, I am out here in the shop right now, and I am playing with Frankenstein. And for those of you guys that are new or just subscribed, this is a fully self-built off-road buggy, cart, cross cart, whatever you want to call it. It is powered by a 2006 GSXR 600. It's got a homemade intake. It's got a really big turbo for this engine with the smallest back housing I could find to kind of help spool. I call it Frankenstein. These are Suburban front axles that I've modified and made my own little knuckle assembly to accept Yamaha or quad style wheels. Some no-name go-kart stuff. These are Banshee front control arms, no-name shocks. Just a lot of stuff that I've had, picked up, searched eBay for to build this buggy. Everything is self-built for the most part. Not all of it has been tested. So my fingers are crossed that all that stuff works. But I believe the last thing we did on this Crosskart here was I got a battery installed up front, kind of ran some of the wiring down the frame wheels, got it all hooked up. Pretty much just kind of packed it into this little box. Now I still have some wiring to go through, cutting, extending, and placing everything where I want it. A couple of things I did off camera was we actually have brake lines ran. So we got a brake line. It's just kind of sitting there right now. It's run up to the frame rails, all the way up there, kind of to a... There is our rear brake caliper. Now that is a actual front brake caliper off the same year bike that engine came out of. All the brakes are bled, lines are in. Right now I'm using a master cylinder you would find on a bunch of those 250 style or knockoff buggies. I am not 100% dead set on that master cylinder. I may have to get a bigger one, but the only way to really know for sure is get this thing moving under its own power. I have also gone ahead and here is our clutch pedal. I've got two of these little guys just kind of welded in place. I figured this was going to get the most abuse. It is hooked to a rod here that comes all the way down inside that tube to help guide it on this pivot point here, and is attached to a factory style clutch cable. So we got the factory clutch cable running from the transmission right here. It runs across basically in the factory location it would if it was on a bike. And then I just tied it, made my own little brackets up front to tie everything in. So everything works. The clutch works. The brake has some feel to it. Like I said, though, I'm not 100% set on that master, so I may be upgrading that. Throttle works. I've gone ahead and got our chain installed as well. I will have to make some kind of little tensioner down here, probably a spring loaded on a roller, because I have no way to adjust the chain, and I had to use a half link there to get this kind of adjustment. There's no way to slide the engine or differential back and forth to tighten that up, so I figured no big deal. I'll make a little arm with a roller on it, use a heavy duty spring, put some tension on it, that way it takes up some of the slack, and that should be fine. So I've hot wired a couple things. So when I fire this thing up, I'll have to hook the fan directly to the battery just to keep it going. I've got our gauge zip tied to the frame there so I can keep an eye on it. And I'm going to push this thing outside. We're going to fire it up, kind of let it warm up for a couple minutes. I'm going to move this thing. I'm going to move it under its own power. Now I'm not going to get out of control with it. I am not. It is barely in the position to even move under its own power. I still got a lot of welding to do. Like I said, a lot of things aren't tested, but I want to see it. I want it to move. I want to move under its own power. I feel that, there's like motivation, a little bit more motivation. It's been a couple years in the making on this thing. I've been having a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. It's taught me a lot. Definitely had to use my creative side of my brain. So, yeah, I'm going to get it pushed outside. We'll get it fired up, let it run for a couple minutes, just kind of make sure she isn't going to do anything weird like overheat. And then I'm going to hop in it, see how many times I stall it, take it down the driveway, maybe around the front yard a little bit there, just so I can get it to move and kind of feel it out. So let's get this thing pushed outside and fired up. Temperature's about 140 degrees. So, like I said, I'm going to take it real easy. I'm going to do my best, just kind of like cruise. We'll just see what happens. So, here we go. Horn works. Say hi! All right, brakes, fires back up. Be right back. All right, brake check. Well, it does slow down, but not the greatest, so definitely not going far. Definitely the nice thing about having a manual transmission, using the slow down. Like it'd be plenty. That was just a guess. So, real way to know though is to actually get it out and open it up. Go ahead and pull this back in front of the shop. Kind of go over it and maybe take it on a longer test ride. Brakes actually stopped better that time, so I may actually have to go through and bleed them a little bit more, but it moves. So I'll go ahead, shut it down, let it sit for a minute, kind of look over a few things, and then put some air in the tires because these front ones look a little low, and do it again. So I'll be right back in a second. Alright, got Seth and Delilah out here. They want to witness this thing go around the yard. It's a good thing I just went around soft the first time, came back to take a look at it because both back wheels were falling off. Some knucklehead didn't tighten the lug nuts. One of the bolts to the engine was loose, so I had to actually change that out. It was stripped. This engine came out of a wrecked bike, so the threads in that hole are gone. So I just swapped it out with another bolt, kind of through bolted it. It's just on the one side. Other than that, everything seemed pretty good. So I'm actually going to give the camera over to Seth, have him do a little bit of recording. Like I said, I'm just going to take it easy, go around the yard again, and see how it feels with both hands on the wheel. So there you go, Seth. All right. Like I said, everything's tack welded. So we're gonna get it back in the shop and fix that control arm. So like I said, take it easy, right? Turn it around. That's all I was doing, and it broke off. It was lightly tacked. So we'll get it back up in there, tack weld it up, make sure the other control arms have a better weld on them as well. And then we'll get this thing back on the ground and get a little bit longer test ride. All right, got the front end all welded up, well, about 90%. The rest of it will have to be done when I completely disassemble the frame to get it ready for paint, but it's definitely a lot more than just a tack weld up front. So now I'm going to go ahead and fire it up again, take it for another little test ride, and yeah, just have fun. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to hand you off to Seth. There he is. Jake's up here. He's watching. Hello. So I think this guy here is playing ring around the cameraman. But all right, hand you off to Seth, and let's have some fun. I don't know. Turning?
Yeah, we're good now.
You just wanted to see that pretty little face of yours.
Yeah.
Fan. Yeah? All right, we are back up here in the shop. I originally thought I kicked something or broke something, and that is, well, because I hit second, hit the clutch, revved it, let the clutch out real fast, kind of drifted it a little bit down there, and then it started popping. So at first I thought I pulled an axle out of place, but then I get up here, kind of go over everything, and here's what happened. So as you look down here to see where my bearings are mounted to the frame, this is the bolt. You get the focus. This is the bolt I'm supposed to have. Well, I remember now that I ran out of bolts, and this is a smaller diameter than this bolt. So when I dropped the clutch, it actually pulled this bearing forward, loosening up the chain, causing it to pop over the rear sprocket. Took me a few minutes to figure it out. I was kind of kind of going over tensioner ideas and stuff like that. I'm still got to work out that in my head, how I want to do it. But I realized we loosened the bolts back up, pulled the bearing back, chain tightened right up. So that was the problem. Other than that, everything seems to do really good. I do, however, still have a lot of work left on this thing. There's a lot of welding. I still got to get the correct hardware for the front control arms. I mean, I'll show you. So I just have the bolts sticking through, no nuts, because I do not have any. See this right here? This one doesn't do anything. It goes all the way up to probably about right here on the control arm on both sides. And that's really all it's holding the upper control arm on. So I got a little carried away, just a little bit, but not too bad. So I did order the correct hardware for that. It's just the Yamaha or the Banshee style upper and lower control arm hardware, factory replacements. So I ordered all that. I'm gonna order another set of bushings for these things as well, just to have them on hand. But besides all that stuff and all the work that's left on this thing here, it finally moved under its own power. I'm super stoked, super excited. I was a little bit worried about how the steering was going to be, because it is kind of, it's a little narrow, it's a little long, and when you push it, the steering is kind of a pain, really. It doesn't really want to steer where you want it. But the second you get weight in that seat there, this thing steers actually very well. I was really surprised on how sharp it turns, on how much. It's just awesome. But I'm excited. Over 2 years in the making for this thing to get this far. Still got a lot of work though. But I am very happy. It moves under its own power. Got a little bit more motivation now. So I'm going to do some more work on this. I am also going to end this video right here. As you see, it is getting dark outside now. So, but thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions you might want to know about this, hit me up in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. Like, this thing has just been thrown together with a bunch of parts I had laying around, a bunch of parts I searched eBay for, things, visions, right? Custom. It's one of a kind, really. So, but anyways, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you've made it this far. Share it with your friends. Thank you guys again. And I'll catch you on the next one. Say bye, Seth.
Toodles.
Yeah.